Welcome to this week's live ASX strategy session. Great to have you with me. Great to have you here to talk about some charts, go through the ASX 200, have a look at the commodities. We've got gold, copper, oil, uranium, a few interesting things to look at there, and some stocks to talk about as well. So plenty of interesting things, I think, to discuss with these markets. As always, everything today is general commentary only, doesn't take your personal situation into account. Having gone through all that, let's get into our first chart. So I've got the ASX 200 just here on the screen. And is this going to be fourth time lucky? Now, I say fourth time because this is the fourth attempt at breaking through this 3-month trading range. And you can count them out. We've got 1, 2, 3, and now 4. And so breaking through the trading range and surpassing the high point, I should say. So will it be the fourth? This would be the fourth attempt at trying to get through the range and get through to this high point to surpass the April all-time high. And I think the defining feature within this range, it's been the strength of the rallies, particularly over the last couple of months. The strengths of the rallies off the lower end of the range, and we saw another one just this week, just on Tuesday. Prices were again looked to be on the brink of breaking to the downside from this range, and then we had consecutive strong days of upward price action, taking the ASX 200 back towards the upper end of the range. And so that's encouraging. It's encouraging getting those big surges in buying interests. The dominant feature on this chart, it continues to be this large trading range, this contracting trading range, which has been there for 3 months. But there's actually now another range to keep an eye on. It's a small range that's formed over the last month, the last 4 weeks. Let me just sketch this in on the chart. You can just see it there, how the prices have been moving within this smaller range. So we really have a range within a range. And you can see the price coiling up inside both. Well, you can see it coiling within both ranges. Within this larger range, the price action is getting tighter and tighter. And now we've got the coiling within this smaller range as well. And as I say, it's encouraging that these dips are attracting strong buying interest. But until this range breaks, we really can't be sure whether it's going to be to the top side, or perhaps it could still be to the downside. You don't know. You just don't know with the range until it breaks. And we are getting that strong buying interest. But the flip side of the buying interest is that we are also getting distribution around the top of this range. So yes, there's interest in buying, but there's also interest in selling. So that's why I say we don't have a breakout yet. We need to wait. We need to wait for the market to show its hand to really get a gauge on where this can be going next. Now, the key levels to watch are the June high and the June highs and the April high. I think a break above these would then set the ASX up for a test of the all-time high. And if we can get to an all-time highs tend to lead to more all-time highs, and that's where you can then get this upward momentum that we had from earlier in the year. That's where that can potentially start to re-engage, and we start seeing more of an upward trend in the ASX generally and amongst the stocks. Support currently comes in at the bottom of the range. This also coincides. It's also interesting because I've got the 50 and the 100-day moving averages on the chart, and it's interesting that the support's also coinciding with where the 100-day moving average comes in. So I think this is pretty key levels around here. If this, like I'd describe it as this rear guard of buying falters around this support, well then the risk, and we've always got to be aware of risk. We just can't be talking about the positive scenarios and upside and that. We've got to look at risk. And if the rearguard buying falters, well, then it opens up the possibility of a retest down here to this April low. So important to understand how different scenarios could play out. I'm long stocks. I remain long stocks. That's been the case for months now. Been long this market. I think the benefit of the doubt goes to the underlying trend from October. The underlying trend has been up. We've had a holding pattern, but the underlying trend behind that is still up. I think that's where the benefit of the doubt goes. But as I always say, we just got to know our risk. Know your risk, and this is the scenario to bear in mind. If these lows from the last 2 weeks breaks, it does open up that downside possibility. So always be prepared to be wrong. So I'm long the market, but I'm prepared to be wrong. So for me, it's stop losses. I got stop losses on my new positions, trailing stops on my profitable trades, which have been my portfolio for months. And as I say, managing risk. I think a big move is coming. These compression regimes where you get the market just stuck in these holding patterns, they do end, and when they end, they tend to lead to a momentum surge in the direction of the break. So I think a big move is in the making. If it's to the top side, I want to still be holding my best stocks. That's why I'm using those wide trailing stops. Try and see this off if indeed the market is going to break higher. I want to still be in those stocks. But then saying that, being flexible, being open-minded, and having an exit strategy should things turn out differently and we start seeing weakness develop. So that's how the lay of the land, I think, goes with the ASX 200 at the moment. We're still waiting. We're still waiting for the market to show us what it's going to do next. Now, if you're getting value from this, please hit that like button. Please leave a short comment. And yeah, helps a lot. YouTube sees people engaging. YouTube shows other people. And that really helps the YouTube channel. So please do those things. Now I'm going to move on to the small ords, the commodities. I've got some stocks to talk about, got some Q&A to go through. So any stocks you've got, I want to go through and have a look at those. But of course, that wraps up the free section. So if you're not a strategy session member, there's a link below, click it. Come on in, doesn't cost very much. Hopefully you'll get a heap of value for very little money. Now, okay. Now all that is done, let's move over. Let's check out the small ords.